I don't actually know if you can see the power steering rack from up here. So, gloves. You ignored me all morning. I tried to let you back inside, and now that you've like had your little roam around, now you want to go back inside. She's like, fine. Come on. Come on, mama. Okay, so the hose in question is this one. Maybe I'll put an arrow on the screen. So if we follow it back, it's that one there. It goes up underneath the faux firewall, and then that's where the rack and pinion sits. Assuming that it attaches from the outside, I should be able to reach it from underneath. You can't see me here. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Oh, dude, it's right there! Alright, we're gonna have to take you guys undercover and use the phone app for me to see what the hell's going on. So, hold on, you're going in. There is a flashlight on me, which is very hard to look at. Let me dim it again. Okay, still bright. Okay, so I may be upside down. I'll fix it in editing. I'm gonna show you guys where it is. So the camera is upside down right now, so I'll fix it so now it's right side up again. Okay, so as I had pointed out, that hose that has the light shining on it, that's the actual hose. So now we're gonna follow it. Okay, hold on. There we go. It's this one. So bear with me, there's not that much room in here. Okay. So, okay, there we go. I'm trying to move my hand out of the way. This one. That's the bolt that you need to loosen. It's the banjo bolt that attaches the hose at the top. If you can loosen that, ideally the hose should come out, and that's what we're gonna find out now. So, I'm gonna pull you guys out, and I'm gonna put you back on the stand while I work on it, and hopefully get this thing out of the depths of that engine. Plus side is I did find out that the rack and pinion is not encapsulated in something. It's actually just mounted underneath the faux firewall, so every cloud and all that, you know. I was right, it is a 22. After a long and tortuous search, I found the socket for this end. I don't know how I'm gonna get it on that end. So being as that one is the more difficult one, I'm gonna try doing that side first. See if I can even get the socket on there. And so began my attempt, my long-winded attempt, as you'll see by the shade pulling away from the car in the lower left-hand corner of the frame. I spent what must have been over an hour or so trying to get the socket onto the banjo bolt for the power steering line. Now keep in mind, as I already pointed out in the previous clip, I was focused on the wrong bolt. That's why I was so focused on the fact that I could get to it from top side. I finally gave up and decided that maybe going under the car would be the best course of action. Alrighty. So while I do have a creeper, cardboard is much better because I'm not that thin and I won't fit under the car with the creeper. So it's precisely because of the location of the bolt I have to get to that I didn't realize how wrong I was when I had the bolts mixed up. And you'll see in the next clip just how difficult it is to get to it. So it turns out I was torquing on the wrong bolt. It's actually the smaller one in the back. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna get to that one. Might actually not be a bad idea taking the wheel off. I don't know if I might actually have a better chance getting to it from here. I definitely have to disconnect the tie rod end, which I didn't want to do. Let's try the 16 again. Even from this angle, because of where the bolt's located on some sort of ledge on the firewall, a straight wrench can't get in there, and definitely not a socket. This was very frustrating at the end of my day, and it ended day one pretty sour. Morning everyone, so this is day 2. We finished off yesterday a little bit defeated. We do have a new weapon in our arsenal. So apparently what we needed was offset wrenches because of where the location of the nut is. It's impossible to get a socket or a wrench into that space. It has to be an offset wrench because of where the thing's located. I'm gonna try with the offset wrench through the wheel well, since this is the tool we needed. This is just a set from Harbor Freight. I gotta say it was a little disappointing that we weren't able to do everything in one day. The new saying is, I'm not going to use in over my head, because I think this is all DIY capable stuff. I'll use failure to plan ahead. So that was my problem. I didn't check to see if there were any people that had done this already, so that might have recommended tools. So that's what we're going with. This was a failure to plan ahead moment. We started earlier, so we should have shade for a lot longer. I won't be baking in the sun. And once that part of the line comes off and we get the next one on, putting the car back together should be easy as pie. Now, I did take a little bit of fiddling around just to confirm the size, since I didn't know it, but it was amazing how well the wrenches fit in there.
Come on, there we go. Come on, good bite. Oh, okay. We got it.
So I think it's visible there. Okay, got the banjo bolt. Okay. The other washer is still on the banjo bolt. So this is the one that goes under the bolt. This is the one that goes between the actual fitting and the hose itself. And now that hose is ready to be removed. Okay, so now that we've got the hose disconnected from up here, we can disconnect it from down here. I get not a tutorial, but I would definitely tell you to move the coolant bottle out of the way. I went ahead and disconnected the sending unit so that it wouldn't be in the way, but I'm not opening up the system because I didn't feel like, you know, redraining it. Holy crap. Okay, the top one, that's that one, right here. All right, so hose should pull straight out. Okay. So because the coils go up, you gotta kind of that part of the hose, and there goes the other part and all the residual fluid that was in the hose. Thought it had drained itself. So I've seen a couple people that have run into the same problem I'm having, and they assumed it was, whoa. So this is your hose. This is more or less how it sits in the car. The coils sit up here. The pressure coils, I'm guessing, they sit up here, and then this is the way it sits in the car. For me, I saw the fluid puddling down here in the sleeve. Other people may have assumed it was this fitting at the end, as one guy did, and tried to fix it with JB Weld. But if you slide the sleeve off, you actually see that at least this version of the hose is in 2 pieces. And right there you can see where it punctured. I'm not sure if you can see there's a little bubble there. but that is where it blew, and that was just enough that the system could hold pressure while leaking. I'm so glad it's this hose and not the rack and pinion or the pump. So now I'm gonna grab our new hose and we can replace it. Is get the other side in first with its new washers. Now the next step, which was getting the actual banjo bolt through the hose with its washers on back into the rack, is the most fiddly part. It took the better part of an hour to make sure everything lined up and was able to thread in correctly. Yes! It's on, with both washers on. Ah! All right, so there is that end of the line connected. Goes through there. So down here, we've put back on the the tray, the cover for this hole, for the passage, and then we're reassembling the tie rod end. This nut has to go in, this has to get tightened down. The under trays are still off the car. I'm gonna put those on last. What we're gonna do now is finish this up, fill up the system, and then we can go ahead and put everything back together. Alrighty everybody, that about does it for us. I am exhausted. That's literally just being stuck in there with my hand just wedged into the valley where the power steering rack sits for, I don't know, what felt like an hour, you know, just in, out, trying to get the bolt positioned. I think once you factor in using box wrenches to get the bolt off, it's putting it back on that is the single most difficult part of this entire project. I'm gonna look at this as a not in over my head, but failure to plan ahead. I should have planned ahead, known the tools I needed, and known exactly which bolt I was taking off, because I almost took off the wrong one. So that said, we're wrapping it up. I've still got a few more things to pick up. It did take us 2 days. That was my fault. If you like our video, be sure to hit that like button. If you want to continue seeing our content, be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming future videos. I'm Alfred for Crooked Mustache. Dale, until next time.